Hey there my friends, Kevin Steineman coming at you with another episode of Crypto Daily News. Today is episode 7, the date is July 9th, Monday 2018. And today we're actually going to talk about a few interesting things that have happened not only today but over the weekend. One thing in particular is that Walmart is making its entrance into the crypto space by setting up their own type of blockchain. And to quote what the patent they had filed recently says, let me just go ahead and tell you guys what it says, and then I'll tell you what exactly they're trying to do in the crypto space with the ledger, with the blockchain together. So basically, they're describing their technology that they're going to integrate with their company by this. Each space on the docking station has a corresponding capacity unit for each location on the docking station. The transactions for the capacity units are tracked in a ledger, with available capacity units indicating an open location on the docking station or contracted out capacity units indicating that either the location has a locker secured thereto or at the location in reserve for future delivery. Now, according again to the patent, each docking station can be used within a blockchain network, but as a separate node. So that's really interesting because we know how public ledgers work is very similar. The other thing is that, with Walmart's news entering the crypto space, I think that's really exciting because if you look at Walmart, they're bigger than Amazon, and Amazon is a company that is immersed in everyone's daily life. If you look at Amazon Prime, essentially Amazon Prime is considered a necessity to most people, a service that you basically can't live without. And so if you look at it from that perspective, I think that's pretty cool that they're making this entrance into the space. But let's go ahead and move on to some bad news in the crypto space. Former, that's the operative word right there, former World Bank chief economist said that Bitcoin will fail as governments continue to increase regulation. And he was quoted to say this, most of all, as his whole statement. This was the most important thing. Once cryptocurrency market, becomes significant, the government will use its hammer. Well, let's just be honest here. Once it becomes so significant and adoption has reached past a certain point, I don't think there's going to be much that can be done at that point, because how are you going to regulate a currency that is clearly more efficient, more well-known, more wanted by the people in practically every country in the world, and it's just cheaper, more effective, safer, and so forth. So we'll see about that, you former economist, you. But on another note, decentralized cryptocurrency exchange Bancor was actually presented with a security breach today, July 9th, that apparently involved over $12 million, and they say that no accounts were affected, but what did happen is essentially was this. The cyber criminals were reported taking some of their tokens from actually Bancor themselves with the BNT token, about 25,000 of those, another good amount in Ethereum, and about 300,000 in Pundi X, which is NPX token. But the total amount, like I said, is around $12 million, most of it being in Ethereum. But they are claiming that no wallets were breached. It's interesting that they did use this other wallet exchange app called Challengely to do that. But again, this is just something that the industry is becoming prone to, is people trying to hack into exchanges and wallets and all that stuff. That's why you should store your stuff in a cold wallet. So another thing that's happening today, basically in China, 20 people were arrested for cryptojacking, and this is actually really interesting how they did it. It affected over 1 million computers, and this was something that basically created up to $2.2 million in profits from what they were doing. And essentially what it was that they were going and installing crypto miners on people's computers, so when the computer was using 50% or less of its computing power, RAM, basically it would start running the script to use the actual crypto miner in the background. And a lot of people didn't know, of course, that they had this installed in their system, but it's interesting to me that this started back in the beginning of January. And what happened was essentially the security team over at Tencent, tech giant WeChat as well, alerted the Weifang City Public Security Bureau about a mining script hidden in freely downloadable plugins for those apps. And so essentially, once they realized that these were basically Trojan horses, they took action and they realized that they needed to find a way to alert people so that way people weren't having these crypto jackers and these scripts running on their computers, taking up all their RAM and CPU power, slowing their stuff down. Definitely not cool. But in another event, I think it's just interesting how, if you look at a report that was published by McAfee back in June as well. I mean, we're still in June, so it's crazy to me to think that this is happening, but basically there was a rise of 629% in cryptojacking and crypto related crimes, you could say. And that to me is just crazy, because this is just from a report that was a month ago, and things have already increased 629%. That is crazy. So in any event, that's the news I got for you guys today. I'm gonna take a look at the charts, but if I don't see anything, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.
Ridiculous, without even trying, how do they do it? This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50